building clean WordPress themes. I don't know what to say, so I'm going to get Alan on stage. Big warm welcome to Onishi.
Right, I'm going to attempt to go Sam's mic. You can't hear me shout out my beer in exchange for a microphone. I'd like to afterwards, but I will. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the personal side of just built. So first off, I'm the senior front-end developer at Architect. Now, you won't believe that, seeing as I've been working on a WordPress project for the last 6 months, but I kind of try and do front-end as well. Let's skip it. You can also find out my Onishi web. Unfortunately, it's on all of my slides, but there's a projector. You won't be able to see it for the rest of the talk. Actually, I'm quite familiar with this venue as well, because I used to run an event here for about 6 months or so. With 12 devs, we recently had to close that, but it was a great time here, and I love coming back to the work as well. So I'm glad to see it so far. It's great. And not to miss an opportunity to plug, I launched a book in the end of last year in December, and I actually have 2 to give away tonight. It's quite exciting. Bloody heavy though, so you can carry them home for me, so don't carry them around. So each week, digging tonight, there will be the WordPress slogans that are good, slight, tiny, terrible. I'll leave that there for another second. So yes, I'm here to talk about the new personal website. So this was designed by a company called Ogilvy, and towards the end of last year we won to build, which was quite exciting. You know, quite a big household name, and you kind of give them a chance to build it. So, and then they tell you that there's 35 global sites as well to go along with it, which is awesome. Although a lot of work. We've so far launched the UK and the Indonesian sites, and currently working on South Africa, Brazil, Thailand, and China. China's fun. Couple of caveats. This isn't going to be a load of code examples. There will be some, but I'm going to mainly talk about the theory behind what we've been doing and kind of some of the ideals we've been working towards, and that have helped us along the way and a bit for the obvious of the future. So I hope that does help. And also, I'm not going to kind of cover really high level stuff. I'm not going to cover really low level stuff. It's going to be a massive mix. Some of it will be basic concepts that you probably wouldn't know and just kind of go over. But I'm hoping it gives you an example of what we're doing. So the project itself, when we told about it, they wanted a WordPress backend. It's one of Unilever's preferred solutions. And their preferred solutions include EE and Drupal. So WordPress is a fairly obvious choice. To give you an idea of what we've done with EE before, we've had to hack the core apart of expression engine so much so that we can update it to the new versions. I'm proud to say that since we've gone live with Personal in February, we've updated it every time the major releases come out within a day or so, and pushed it live at the same time. I'll get onto that in a bit because that came with a couple of issues. Like I said, there's 35 plus markets worldwide, and we're doing a site for each of them. They all require multi-language. Most require multilingual support. Some are single language, but in foreign language. Some are in English, which is a nice one. South Africa is a nice one at the moment. And each market, of course, has its own things that they want. Each market has its own digital team. So they're coming to us with, can we have this? And yeah, I guess. And also they want to write in their own functionality, so we have to deal with that as well. And China also wanted they said the thing is red in China, so they're like, our website's red, we want the new one to be red. Okay, I said no, we've got local teams. So our solution from our point of view, we have to think about quite a few things when we build it. We have to think that we're working with a team development, not going to be one person working on it all at the same time. There's about 4 of us at the most, and now they're meeting, which is great. But to kind of go from that, it took 4 of us to launch the UK site, and I'm now launching 2 sites at the same time on my own. So hoping what we've done has worked. So, hoping it's not, I mean, I'm able to do it, so it's going to take me a week or so to get it correct, so that's a pretty good sign. We need to be able to modify styles and functionality really easily. We need to be able to extend every single website without having to worry about breaking things. We want to manage it all through one code base because, multiple code bases, it just gets complicated and a bit of a mess. We want to keep it on state and easy to deploy and extend when necessary. So WordPress was kind of an obvious choice for us. So I want to talk a bit about the tools that we kind of use that are WordPress-centric and also not WordPress, but we combine with WordPress to make it into a brilliant solution for this. So obviously there's multi-site. It's kind of a no-brainer. It allows us to manage everything centrally. I'll cover these in more detail in a second. We've made a massive use of parent charting, so that was the kind of major part of our proposal. And it's working out really, really well so far. We use Git for source control and measurement, deployment and stuff, which is great. Front-end tools, obviously, I'm seeing front-end tools where I look at front-end stuff. So we've been using Sass Compass and Grunt really well. Actually, really well with charting. Really interesting combination. And then, yes, we do use some plugins, but unlike the other site, the previous site, we go too crazy, which I'll talk about in a second. So multi-site. It gives us a centrally managed system, and we can kind of keep an eye on all of the sites on the network. You update one plugin, you update it for the sites. I'm not going to go through the basics of multi-site, but they're the kind of things that we look for in it. And it was easy to create new sites. You can add them on pretty easily. And with domain mapping, with any domain mapping, I don't really know that. You use WordPress. So that's allowed us to keep an eye on getting the correct URL up. However, this is a corporate solution, so it did get a bit messed up in the fact that our plan of having one place to manage everything was great, and then they said we've got 3 servers, and kind of the best way, I'm sure there are more intelligent people at server admin than me, and there was on our team who decided to go with this route. We now have 3 base sites, one in Singapore, one in Brazil, I believe. One in East Coast of America and one in Ireland. And they're hosting 3 networks. It's all the same code base still, but it's 3 networks that we kind of have to manage. So it's a bit tricky because we have to push changes to 3 different servers. But with deployment methods that we're looking into at the moment, we'll hopefully see where we go from this. So my favourite part is the parent charting. I think this has made my life so much easier, and it's charting is brilliant as soon as I kind of found using all the time now. We have one core parent thing at the moment, which is the UK site, but in time it might become a standalone parent that we just extend off of. And then our chartings, we use one charting per website that we don't have. So eventually we'll have those for our chartings, but at the moment we've just got 3. And we configure each one of those chartings. They come with if you don't have chartings too much, they run a functions file before the functions file of the parent thing. So that means you can extend and override functionality using things like plugable functions, which we can use to help configure our post types, taxonomies, which I'll talk about in a second when I talk about multilingual stuff, and configure stuff like null settings. So, as an example, this is a pluggable function. Pluggable function is just basically wrapped in a test to see if the function already exists. So your character, because it's loaded second, you'll be able to write the function as normal in your chart thing, and that will overwrite, that will stop the other function from being created. And in the parent thing, because this is running on filter, you don't need to run that filter again in the chart thing, because just the function being there will be enough. And it kind of, we've used little tricks like this to help extend everything and overwrite things where we need. And a quick side note away from Persil, if you're going to modify a theme that you paid for or downloaded from the themes directory, or even one of the core default themes, always child theme it, never hack in any of the code. So a child theme can customize everything. You can override anything in the parent, it's absolutely fine. And if you hack a parent theme or one of the default themes you buy, you can never upgrade that same thing again. So you lose out on that functionality that might come in the future. So just child theme is really, really easy. And it also, if you break something in your child theme, you've got the parent theme intact, you can just delete the program and it will go back to work again. Brilliant system which only started using in the last 6 months or so. So Git, put simply using it. If you're not using it, I've got 3 links in there to get you started with it. It's a brilliant system and it really helps. If you are a militant WordPress, SVN is fine. Source management, it's source controlled, it's okay. You have to use it with plugin developer. I will be soon, so it shows a lot of WordPress also mirroring on Git.
Sorry, what is the parent information small branch policies? Why have specific?
Because of long situation. So we've got 42 growing on one end. We need to have it in we don't have it. We're not running separate installs. We're running separate installs potentially, but again, then you've got force coming off and you've got a set of presence essentially, or one-time presence. But we'll go over that instead. Sorry. Also, just a quick note on the method we use for Git. We're using what's titled Git Flow, which came from this successful Git branch model. It's quite good. It just means everything's being released and you've got stable copies of things, and you can do hot lists and you can also keep them developing as you should. Front-end tools. So I love front-end, so Sass Compass had to be in there for me. And for me, it's ridiculously easy. We can work in collaboration, we can monitor our styles. It makes working with child themes an absolute problem, because normally in child themes, what I hate is the fact that on WordPress, their suggested method for generic styles is to have to import that style sheet into child theme style sheet. It means 2 requests when you're loading. That's a performance hit, and I don't want to take that. So with our structure, we can actually we've basically got our Sass column mirroring the structure of the themes column. So each one of the style sheets we create is going into the each theme, and we can extend the core code and just override and modify it as we go. It's made it a lot easier, and we can easily modify it and let it go. I've got all these slides up online, so I don't know if you can't read them. This is kind of the base config. The only thing to say on this is that because we're using kind of a core Sass compile method, we've had to put a general images folder in the content, just to keep so that all star sheets can use the same images, which is fine. It means that we don't have images in every child theme, and we can just keep all the assets in one place. So it's not a big deal, but it's a little change on how you might normally back up a theme. And we're not ahead. And the same goes for asset fonts as well. Grunt, I've been using Grunt for a couple of years now. It's a great tool for just basically a task runner that does many loads of tasks mostly with JavaScript, but it also runs Compass. So with all our JavaScript, we hint it, we can get the name and by it. And we've also got image optimization in there as well. It means that we're able to write our JavaScript module as well, and how to compile that to one JavaScript file. we're serving, again, great performance group style because we're serving them on Starship and on JavaScript. We're also using icon fonts. I'm a big fan of icon fonts since we've kind of discovered Fantastic. I love this site. You can upload SVGs, it's got all of the major font libraries, it's got 3 open source font libraries in there. So you just go ahead and use them, and it compiles into you can select which icon you want, compile down to your own font, and it's there ready to use. I mentioned we also use some plugins. We try to really keep a limit on as many as possible because too many of it gets unmanageable. The past site, I think, when I logged into their backend, I had over 100 installed plugins and about 50 or 60 of those active. It's just, you don't know where everything's coming from if you're doing it like that. It was bizarre. And also, the disappointing thing about that is it's created a bit of a stigma with the client about plugins. Whenever we mention plugins now, we don't really want to know about them. So what we've done is kept it really clean. And also the fact that we use WordPress multi-site is the fact that they don't get to see what plugin we're using really. Even if they're admin off the current site, they can't see the main plugins installed. Just a bonus. So the main plugin is advanced custom fields. All the slides on this, that was we also use the add-ons. These are premium add-ons, and maybe I'll get to that. So we use the repeated field options, pages, and flexible content field. I'll get onto that in a minute when we talk about the content. WordPress. We just use WordPress. Sorry. Yeah, it's kind of the core one when we use international sites. WordPress wants anything. WPML. Now, this one's a bit of a pain. Recently, WordPress 3.9 came out. I really updated to it, so I'm going to assume. We updated to it within a couple of days, and because WPML is premium and they released updates via their site, I made the error of not triple checking with WPML and assuming that everything was working. Uploaded the dev site, well, I didn't upload it. Did this on my dev site, and it broke everything. And I was like, okay. So, fortunately, they've released the beta. To be honest, I think this is a bit bad of them because it's been in RC for probably 3 or 4 weeks. They should be testing with it. They fixed it within a week. It's now fixed. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that it just took them a longer time to fix. But yeah, please do check all your plugins are accessible with this before you update. Luckily, I do have a dev version and it didn't affect production or anything like that. Working with agencies is fine when it comes to translations and things like that because they want everything in a CSV or basically they want everything in Excel. So we give them a list of strings to translate, they send us back an Excel file and then somehow we'll get that into a PXE file or some way of uploading it to WPML. WPML doesn't do CSV anymore yet. So there's a nice, there's another link down there to CSV to PO, which is a translation tools kit, which will do all that for you, which is an absolute lifesaver. WordPress SEO, just because they need SEO stuff, and it's probably the best one, and it's as simple as possible. WordPress social login is going to be. Test isn't. So this one allows us to do login via Facebook, Twitter, and tons of other social media platforms. It's something they asked for, it's something we put in at the last minute. It seems to be working fine, fine at the moment. We've not really had that many issues with it, so if you're looking for a social login plugin, it's pretty good. Content-wise, this is going to be really on the class release, which is very simple. So, custom post sites, of course. We've got 5 main custom post sites for the site. We've got products and all tips. Tips is parenting devices there. You can see the whole site. And we have 3 kind of support schemes for custom post types for things like the crosslinks, which are ways of content throughout the site, and a few other little things to add in to make content management easier. Basically, the idea is to make the content as easy for them to update as possible. It's mostly works. I'm very happy about it. Custom taxonomy is added, so I'm just getting past that side. So custom taxonomy is on the site do all of their filtering for things like products and stuff. You can see them kind of underneath the header there. That's done on a per market basis, so we need to make this really, really flexible because every market wants different types of filters. They don't want the same, because in the UK people apparently care about Ireland and non-Ireland a lot more than, say, in Indonesia, where they just care about what form it comes in, and whether it goes to the top level or the front level. Which is fair enough. So none of this can be configured properly in the back end. So instead we configure everything in separate functions in arrays of labels, and more importantly the slugs. And then I throw that through to for each of them, just to go through and add each one with an arbitrary name. That arbitrary name means that we can filter them really, really easily. And also manipulate them quite well in the templates later on. I'll show you a bit of that code quickly. And custom fields. So back to advanced custom fields again. So one of their requirements was for a couple of their content types on the site to have modular content, so they can add in a module of a list or a carousel or whatever they want in what order and as many as they want, which is great for content providers, but it's a bit tricky at first. But flexible content field in Advanced Custom Field makes this really, really simple. So a lot of configuration, and it does look a bit hairy, but it works really well, and they're really happy with the solution. So we can do things like that and have multiple of the same kinds of content type in a manageable, without having to do any pasting or anything in the back end. This is all managed by fields. And all three of those plugins cost us $75, but like multi-site license for everything forever, you have to pay it again. And it's not even real dollars, it's Australian dollars. It's bloody cheap. So we're all multi-site license, just go on. So, I don't know how much time I've gone through, my time is reset, so I'm going to get on to the main part. All those are cut up. I did look at this. So what's it going to do? It's going to be theme. What's my organization? There it is. Alright. So, folders are friendly. Subdirectories are brilliant. Organising everything and try and keep it neat makes it a lot easier to find. That's a huge thing. I've been lost without folders. So we've got, that's a rough overview of what sort of folder we're using. The usual CSS JavaScript. I think I've got about 15 files on it, doing tons of different custom functions. And stuff like admin template tags and template parts as well. This I didn't know about until recently. In 3.4, they're quietly announced this. Template hierarchy extends into subdirectories. Yeah, that's subdirectory. I'm not bothered anymore. So there's a post up there as well by Mason. Now you can just you can organise your themes however you want. WordPress will just find the templates. You don't have to tell it about any subdirectories, so it will just find them. Quick note that if you're using stuff like get page template to pull in different features and functionality, for a page contact inside of the pages folder, it will return the full path from the root of the template. Yeah, from the root of the theme. So just be aware of that if you're doing any conditions around using that one. But it's really handy, it means you can organise your things all on the inside. Templating. So use template parts. Template parts are brilliant. It means you can modularize your code a lot more and reuse a lot of stuff. But also, they're dynamic if you want to be. So that second example is using a function I wrote just to get the post type. and that then pulls out a different loop based on the post type that's currently being displayed, because the currently being displayed with different information. The best thing is that it does default back to your base task. So I think we've got loop products and loop activities, but the rest are just loop docket. If it doesn't find, if it doesn't have that second parameter, it will just use the base that you pass through. And this one's really interesting. So I don't see it's done very well, especially in things like the default themes. 2012, and I think 2013 and 14 still have a massive, like 40 lines of code at the top of their archive file denoting which title to show. And it's just like, well, that's just a bit of a mess. So this is our archive file template. You can't really read all of it, but that's all of it from top to bottom. You can see it, it's nice and indented, you can see where different bits are. And that is dealing with 5 post types, I believe. And all of them have different filters, different titles, different content layouts and stuff like that. And using a combination of custom template tags and template parts in there. Just so all of the little bits of dynamic content are all modularized and they're all taken care of somewhere else and dealt with in a nice neat way. So yeah, don't be scared to write a custom template tag. It's pretty much just a function. You will find that you'll write one that deals with one case and then you'll try and do something else and it will fail. That's when you find out and you keep writing it. This is a fairly simple template tag I wrote, which again is just a function. It gets the post type title, and because we've got a couple of conditions where on a tag page we want to have it prepended to topic, that's in there as well. And they just help keep your templates a lot neater, and you can understand a lot more. You can go off and find. It doesn't matter how many files you've got, as long as they're easy to read and replace. So custom templates, these are ones that you select from the drop-down page attributes. So found these really, really key for internationalization, because if you use page contact in Indonesian, contact doesn't exist. The contact stuff won't be there very easily, so we'll have to write another one. I really wish I could remember what contact is in Indonesian now. I think something like a Bongi company. I apologize to any Indonesians who got that wrong. But so removing all these page icon templates, you do get a longer list of templates in your drop-down, but it means that you know exactly which template is being used for which bit of content. It's really handy, especially with advanced custom fields, because it needs to know what exact template is being used to show the fields. So if you've got that going into 3 different templates across 3 or 4 different chart names, then you're a bit kind of stuck. So Ajax is a big part of our design. So we are Ajax a lot of custom post archive pages or the post coming through that. We're using the form submissions as well. The quick caveat is that if we're using them to do login, although the user will now be logged in according to WordPress, the current page won't think your user is logged in. The current page hasn't refreshed. So all of the previous content is sent now, the user, according to WordPress, the user is still logged out. Generally, we found that's not a big deal because any action the user is going to do is going to be require a page refresh, so WordPress will find that. Just in case it's a bit of an issue, I think I've had to do one where I forced a refresh after the login. So, anybody actually heard of the admin index? It is really, really bloody handy. This is where you send all of your agents. Basically, it may be an admin file, but this is the very much to deal with. So, this is a typical Ajax call we've done from jQuery. It's just a post get JSON, but there's a core data Ajax data Ajax URL variable in there. And there's also a nonce variable. So that's coming from this little script at the bottom here. So it finds your and then pops into an object in the footer right above the script where it's being included. And this means your script can access this. Doing this is just basically a way of making sure that you're getting the right Ajax an Ajax file URL based on the environment you're in, because this works obviously across my local and my stage and production. And also there's a nonce in there, which you all have nonces. We've had a security talk already mentioned them. So nonce is the number used once. It uses security of WordPress. Basically, by using this in Ajax requests, that means that you can check that the Ajax requests are coming from your theme and not anywhere else. I'm sure there's a lot more nonces than I've heard about, but that's the way we'll get around. So this is how to include data. Basically, you're using the localized script function. If you're not including scripts like this right now, please try to. It's like a brilliant way of doing it, and also means that things are in the footer. But it means you can take a lot of code out of your study code out of things. So this is just creating a PHP array, and then it passes it to the localized script, which outputs it as that JavaScript object there. Once you're doing your Ajax calls, you send through an action variable as part of the data, and that correlates to that bit in blue there. So now you can run hooks in anywhere in the theme, and these hooks will fire off the functions to return data to the Ajax. The difference between Ajax and Ajax no group, which is the second one, is just one is used when we use the login one for users logged out. If you only want to do stuff when the user is logged in, you want to make sure you don't use them if they are mutual, they don't have to both work at the same time. And that's just a really simple way of setting up a response. Once you're in the function and you call from this hook, you have WordPress back or beck and call it. Everything you can do with WordPress. Doing these functions is fine. One small caveat, technically you're in the admin. WordPress thinks you're in the admin. So if you're doing query posts and stuff like that, you need to be explicit about post status, because the admin will return drafts and pending as well. So make sure you make sure you're able to publish posts. You actually set that variable, set that part of the query as well. And yeah, it's a simple way to set up a JSON object is just to encode it into JSON code and pass that back in die. Die means that the processing will stop and you'll get nothing back from PHP. So, getting towards the end now. Are you alright with time, Keith?
Yeah.
Internationalization and localization. So, when doing this, just make sure any strings that go into your template, all the JavaScript, any strings going into it, use the internationalization, the localization functions. So double underscore returns it. You will see that in labels for custom post types and taxonomy, I'm sure. Underscore E echoes it. So basically anything you'd be writing on, just wrap in underscore E with your the string, because you're looking at it, so you can have
basic context, like, can we get back to it?
this is good, but what's that part of the
Oh,
so that's translation? Yeah, okay. We'll move on.
that thing that allows internationalization.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Like, aren't each of those strings on line translation different? Using context or what's being used?
It gives you the context of the themes being used in it. So this is being used in the same theme, so I would like to have one word for it. The last one is just a way of passing in string if you need it. So that's what we have in function. Also, if you're doing Ajax, I'm going to have to edit this all, you need to see this.
domain,
Oh, the text domain, yeah, that's
which
it.
is Google.
Yeah, that's fine. So, this is going back to the localized script, using it for the actual reason you're meant to. Or it's there for anyway. So, any strings used in the JavaScript, you need to pass through WordPress, otherwise you won't be able to translate them. You'll have to go through and redo all your JavaScript with different translation. So, you can do all this, again, it's with the localizations, localized script function, and this pops out an object with all the translations, translated strings in it for you. You can just use these variables in your JavaScript. It's really handy. Getting towards the end now, so custom plugins, we do use them sometimes when we want to basically create reusable functionality, and because we've got a lot of different markets using different things, we don't want them all to have the same functionality, so we want to easily be able to switch on and off different functionality. There's a whole section related to washing machine advice that is needed for Indonesia and South Africa but not needed in the UK, because washing machine art is quite prevalent in Indonesia and South Africa, so people personally think this is a great advice to give them. But in the UK, probably a bit, not great. The last thing I want to talk about is the menu. I'm really proud of this menu. I don't think you can handle that. So it's a responsive menu, as you would expect. And there's a little pull-out, so there's online resolutions. You get some learning things for it. So we need to be able to manage this really easily and make it nicely responsive. So of course we use the WordPress menus. But WordPress menus will really allow you to upload images. So you can't get those nice images in there. So I wrote a little bit that hooks into that actually queries the database for the child parts of the menu and allows you to upload images to that. And then again, we're making use of that localized script function. Instead of loading all of the images into the thing straight off and having 5 to 10 other requests for images that are slow program on mobile, instead of doing that, using the localized script. So once again, put in another JavaScript object and output these image URLs to the JavaScript, and we can then, once the JavaScript is loaded, pull those images in, put them in place. And because it's a subnet, it's hidden to start off with, no one knows. It loads after the fact, only when needed. So it's a really nice little trick to make use of if you're going to kind of do mobile first in one pulling extra images. Use that WP mobile script, put all the images in an object, then you have access to the live JavaScript and you can use them more appropriately. One thing the menu has actually said, and the last one I want to touch on it, is universal navigation, which is a new, something we're working on with Untitled to allow markets to have our navigation in their own campaign. So campaigns that are outside of WordPress, that are not going to be on this site at all, but they still want this menu, so it's consistent across all of their work, it's essentially managed in one location. So we've written an API version that will go into WordPress and allow markets to pull in all this information and use the actual code which is to create this menu. And you know what? It's still a work in progress. We're still working on four new sites at the moment. Everyone has its unique features, functionality, and new challenges. And we're always going to find little things that won't work for these new sites, or we find little troubles. And we've had this along the way. And we've refactored it. We fixed those bugs, we refactored it, and everything's learning, a massive learning process. So you just keep on learning, keep on improving.